Hello, so today we're going to talk about the side kick move and various variations that we have that we work with on our side kick. So for our side kick, we're always looking to get nice straight side lying position. So we want the top hip nicely reaching out towards the end of the mat. And that brings our hips, our knees and our ankles into a nice stacked position, and a lift of the lower waist, which equalizes the distance between the bottom of the rib and the hip on each side. So if we don't allow that stretch in the hip on that top line down towards the feet, the hip creeps up and we've got a short waist on that top line and a longer waist on the lower line. So always make sure you've got that nice lengthened position. Our aim is to keep the top hip nice and steady throughout the movement and nice stability in the trunk. So we don't want lots of flexion and movement through the spine. So the ribs aren't moving forward and back. The pelvis isn't doing lots of tilting. And that means that the curves of the spine stay nicely in our setup position all the way through. If you feel wobbly in this position with the head resting on the arm, then the alternative that we quite often give is to bring the lower arm forward and place a cushion or a block under the head, and that will give you a little lever out in front to help with the balance. The other option is to soften and bend that lower leg to also give you that extra little bit of support, but still keep that length through the top leg and hip. So we still want the waist nice and even if we're going to take that lower leg into a bent position. Our leg kick move itself, we've of course got lots of core work. So we've got our center set up to support that, so pelvic connection and a nice wide breath out to the side and back of the ribcage. We've got a couple of variations, so depending on how stable we are in this position, we can just lift the top leg to around about hip height, and then with nice control and keeping the height of that leg roughly the same as we travel out forwards. Come back in on the in-breath and then release back down. We can add more challenge by having the lower leg lifted. So we lift the top leg first and then bring the lower leg off the mat as well. So we're resting more onto the lower hip. And then we've got the same kick forward with that top leg. And draw back in. Again, keep a nice stability in the trunk, nice stability in the pelvis as we work. Other variations, we sometimes add a little back kick into that front kick as well. So either with the single leg or with both legs lifted, we've got our movement forward, back in, but then we apply a little bit of glute connection and keep that leg nice and straight and the spine still nice and lengthened as we take the leg a small amount back. We feel a stretch into the flexor as that leg stretches back behind, being aware not to hinge into the lower back as we do that. So attempting to use back muscles to try and get more movement. And again, we can do that with the second leg lifted as well if we want to. We've just got less stability, we're working that a little bit harder. That lower leg always stays nice and steady as the top leg travels. So we don't want that lower leg to get involved in the movement. Stays nice and still. And that's our side kick. Lovely.